It's athlete's foot,
So
basically.
wait. So dandruff is it's not.
It's a
pieces of
fungal.
your skin?
It's mushroom shit. It's fungus on your head. It's like athlete's foot for your head.
Yeah.
There's no way that's true.
It's 100% true.
It's a 100. It is true, and I learned that from my girlfriend who is in cosmetology school doing hair.
That's fucking. So then, but does moisturizing? So then, how come when I have dandruff, I'll put this like moisturizing shampoo in my hair to like, because I figure that's making it less dry, so it stops flaking.
Yeah. Does it work?
Kind of.
Do you still have
I may
dandruff?
just be smoothing out the mushrooms.
Yeah. You're creating a damp environment.
Them.
Is what it is.
That's why if you're prone to fungus, other places, like under your big sweaty saggy tits, if you ever happen to get fungus under you can use Head and Shoulders like as body wash
Under your tits?
Yeah.
Oh,
everywhere.
that's crazy.
Nice.
Life hack.
They should put that on the bottle to be inclusive. Head, shoulders, under tits.
They should call it
Head, shoulders, gooch, and tits. 7 in 1. Yeah.
Oh my god. We have for the listeners, if you're watching, and listening, we have the very funny Tory Ward on the podcast with us today.
Yes. The legend.
Yeah, we've been talking about having you on for a very long time.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. This is cool.
I talk about your bits to people, and I don't even remember how they go, but I just bring up the premises, and people laugh.
Oh, that's nice.
I was talking about leukemia being just like, I thought that was just a disease for kids. Or I don't know. It's one of the earliest jokes I remember of yours, but...
I've tried to bring that back. It doesn't... A lot of families out here.
Yeah.
Portland was such an
Portland really
culture.
hates children.
Yeah, it really does.
That's
So
crazy. You don't say anything about any any POCs, but if you want to talk about
kids and old, they hate kids and old, both ends of the spectrum.
Right.
Old people got weirder than kids did.
toddlers and geezers.
Because I used to have a bit about like not respecting elders and all that shit, and people would get kind of tight about it, or like making fun of my grandfather dying or any of that kind of stuff.
Well, then you get a lot of geezers trying to pretend they're not geezers yet, wearing like Vans slip-ons in their 70s in Portland because they just like,
or like 40-year-old women rollerblading around work and stuff.
That's gonna be me. That's gonna be.
Yeah. No, there's some people who just
triggered.
They do it till the wheels fall off. They're a cool guy until they're 80 years old.
Yeah,
we're gonna see more of those. I see more of those guys every day. Where you just see like, you see like somebody who's like in his late 60s in like a Chromax t-shirt, and you're like, we've reached that point. Okay.
Or on TikTok with like crop tops and riding a Harley and stuff like that. Yes. And it's like you're my dad's age, dude.
Yeah. I have an ex-aunt who's sort of so she's my uncle's wife. Yeah, ex-aunt. That's what it would be. And
that's always weird though. When you get to like, what do you say, ex-aunt?
Yeah,
I have to say, yeah.
She was formerly my aunt, and now through divorce she is no longer.
Estranged aunt.
She's estranged. I guess that's good. Yeah, ex-aunt would be like, I guess if we had like a sexual relationship.
Yeah. My ex-girlfriend
it's too close to just say a woman I know. You can't. There's the separation, isn't that
my cousin
emotional.
Mama.
She got divorced from my uncle, and then like immediately just started like uploading videos to YouTube of like her like fucking like riding motorcycles and like like filming herself in the show. Man, there's a crazy video of her like filming herself in the shower. Tasteful. You can't see anything. It's not on like Pornhub, but she's singing "I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair" right after they got divorced. She was crazy. She got me very good Christmas gifts though, so I do mourn her.
What was the best one she got you?
Dude, she just like, she loved music. That was the cool thing about her, is like she loved music. Yeah. So she was into like Neil Young and Metallica. Yeah. And she would just give me like fucking like stacks of records every Christmas.
That rules.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had a second cousin aunt lady who gave me a Billy Joe Armstrong signed CD of Dookie. That was when I was 9. It was the first time I heard somebody say fuck on a recorded thing. It blew my mind. I couldn't handle it, dude. I got hyper.
Wait, I'm still stuck on second cousin aunt thingy. That an Arkansas thing or?
My mom's cousin.
Oh, okay.
No, those weren't all the same thing.
A lot of commas in that sentence.
She wasn't that. She was just older, so she was like an aunt, but she was technically
like cousin,
my cousin.
Aunt, grandma thing.
Yeah. No, her dad married my brother, so yeah.
Nice.
You get some family. If you have like a fucked up family, the configuration gets like dicey so fast. Like my dad's father remarried a woman who had kids younger than me. So those are my aunts, those are my aunties, 9-year-old girl. You know, it's like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And all the marriages like dissolve. So you have all these like weird, like I have so many like were once relatives and then like somebody fucked up and now they're just people who I don't see anymore.
You like 10 years later you run into a girl who's like younger than you and you're like, oh, that's my ex-aunt.
That was what happened. I ran into her in Ocean City after they got divorced. And
you're
I was
in a
like,
strip club and you're like, is that my fucking ex-aunt?
no, she was on the street, not in a totally innocent way on the street. But yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird because you see these people, and you're like, I should say hi, but like we will have no reason to ever speak to each other ever again.
I had stepsisters. I have ex-stepsisters.
Yeah, I got a lot of siblings. I talk about having a little brother sometimes, and it was like a step brother. But then I'll say, oh, I used to have a baby brother. And everyone thinks he died, and I just let it ride.
Yeah, you got dead baby brother energy. I mean, you're giving dead baby brother.
Wait, I got to go back. Before we got on the podcast, I was talking about getting a container for my cat's ashes, and you said that was a luxury. And
well, I was just kind of splurging.
It is. I did splurge.
It's a trinket.
Because I love her very much, and but that you said that your father is in a Target bag?
Yeah.
Oh, is he for real?
Yeah, he's in a Target bag,
crazy.
and as far as I know, last I checked.
Yeah.
What's the?
Because it comes in a box. You get it in a like a cardboard box.
Yes.
Okay.
So the cardboard box
Just
is
says dad in like really bad handwriting with like a crayon.
Tell me if this is,
Daddy.
how heavy is the bag?
It's pretty heavy.
Is it pretty heavy?
I haven't looked. I don't know. I haven't looked. I never looked in it.
Okay.
It's just in a bag in the back of a closet.
Yeah.
I think my brother has it.
Wow.
We just never. He's just back there.
Does
Are you
your real
afraid
life
to look at it, or
What?
are you afraid to look at it?
I just don't know how to bring it up.
Yeah.
Like I don't see my brother very often, and his wife's and the niece, and like
You
when
want to
do
go
I?
look at dad?
Yeah.
You
Bring
want to go
dad
get in
down.
the closet?
And we
look
don't
at
really
dad?
drink anymore, so that drink. Alcohol is good for like random adventure, casual sex, and crazy adventures.
Yes.
Like it's much harder to do sober. To just. It's like
You can do some
2
arts and
a.m.
crafts and make like resin ashtrays and pour bits of dad in there.
Come on.
That's how you break the ice.
This is a man.
You
who's
start
passed.
doing that and you go in the middle of it, you go, you know what would be great? We're already doing this. We're trying to think of shit to just stick in there.
I would be so afraid that I would like the first time I looked at it, you would like see like a face like printed in the plastic.
Just a ring you forgot he had, just float like sitting.
Well,
I wonder if you're bigger in real life, does that mean more ashes? Like if Bixby got cremated tomorrow versus Noah, they both got cremated. Do you think it would be noticeable? Would one bag be twice as big as the other one?
I mean, I think so.
Of course, yeah.
Well, I think it depends on how materials in your body burn.
Yeah, but if you're fat, you have more.
There's more
bone
mass.
density.
He's
too,
also
though.
taller than me too. Yeah.
He would set
I
the
guess
smoke
that's-
detectors off.
Could you imagine? You get a fat guy's ashes back. You're like, we don't need all of it. Just give us like.
Do you want to keep some?
Yeah, we'll take like a
Do you have a
Ziploc.
to-go box?
My friend died. Now you're giving me a chore. I gotta haul this back to my house.
It busts open like too much trash.
Yeah.
There was
Do you have a drink carrier?
we used to have my dad used to own an event center that when he bought it was a mortuary that had been shut down like 20 years before because the guy who ran it was giving people fireplace ashes like instead of their loved
really?
ones. Yeah, because the guy had like a gambling problem.
That's a good hustle, to be honest.
Yeah, and so he you had to like ship the bodies to a different like 2 towns over in order to get them incinerated. So he was just stacking them in the basement and then giving people fireplace ashes. And I wonder if he was eyeing like, oh, that's a fat guy, I better do more.
Yeah, somebody got there. They're like, this is not all of Dad. This is something is amiss.
Dad was oaky.
That's okay. Kind of
A lot
brilliant.
of cigarette
that guy.
butts.
So
Dad.
how does keeping the bodies? Does he sell the bodies?
No, so
Sells them to the Chinese black market medicine. That's what they use.
Well,
right?
yeah, but I'm trying to figure out like why did the gambling factor into?
Well, because he got paid, and then some of that money was supposed to go to the incinerator to incinerate the bodies, but he kept going to the casino, and I think just every time he was like, no, double or nothing, this'll get all of them, and so it got busted. So it's like, it's on the coast, on the Oregon coast.
Yeah.
And the Oregon coast is like every year we have a jellyfish thing that happens where all these sailor jellyfish wash up on the shore and the whole town smells like rotting.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
That happens in California too.
Yeah. So
I don't know why I feel like jellyfish smell like cum.
they smell like bad pussy. That's what it smells like.
That was close.
Makes sense.
So everybody thought the smell of the building was just the like rotting jellyfish. And this old World War II vet, this was like, I don't know, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, was like walking past, like called the feds and was like, I was at Auschwitz. I know what bodies smell like. This building smells like bodies. And the local newspaper described the bodies as being stacked like cordwood in the basement. Like just everywhere, just these rotting bodies. So it sat vacant forever, and then my dad bought it because it was a good deal.
Yeah.
And then he named
I
it.
forgot that the end of the story was your father purchased this building.
And when he bought it, it still had. So we named it the Eventuary, like mortuary event space, and it still had like the big body refrigerators in the basement, and like the.
Wow.
You know, I can kind of understand like the autism because it really is like it's just a few steps above collecting action figures. You start being, you know, imagine like just like a really autistic Jeffrey Dahmer. I guess Jeffrey Dahmer was already pretty autistic, but just, you know, you got to catch them all.
I do, man, like, because we've all cut corners at work. You know what I mean? Like, we understand the impulse. Like,
I have so much empathy for this guy, honestly. I've fallen behind, and then there's just bodies everywhere, and you're just, every time you walk down there, you're
it's like that's her life. I'd be at the casino. I'd be at the bar, you know?
The body's probably talking to him. They're probably like, the next one's the big one, dude.
Yeah.
Bet it all on black.
He's drunk at the bar. He's like, just bury me. Don't fucking incinerate me.
Oh my God! So then, did you like when your dad got that place? Did you ever feel like it was haunted by like?
Okay, so one time, I don't believe in that. Everybody said it was. I don't believe in that.
Okay.
But you get a little, whatever, freaked out. Okay, so one time it was after a comedy show we had there, and it was like 1 a.m, and I was stacking chairs. I was there by myself, and I was listening to music. So the upstairs bath, my dad was like a weird guy, and he like collected antiques and stuff, and he made the space cool. So upstairs there was when you turned on the light, there was in the bathroom there was a disco ball, and then he had like a little CD player that said press play, and it played the Bee Gees. So
Nice.
that
Really?
yeah, so there would be the Bee Gees and disco lights when you shit. Like it was like a whatever.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
And so I'm listening to my own music, stacking chairs. I thought I had all the lights turned off. And then I turn off my music, and then from upstairs I hear, staying alive, staying alive, staying alive. And I see like the little disco lights under the bathroom door. Oh my God. And I just left.
Oh, that's wild.
I apologized to the room, and I went home.
Let me tell you also,
It's crazy that you can't leave. Because I've tried to leave comedy shows with you 1,000,000 times, and I know what a nightmare that is for you. So if there's a dead guy involved, it's got to be so much worse. You gotta apologize to everybody and make sure everything's okay before you gotta go.
Apologizing to the fucking walls.
What can I say? What a mocking song for the spirits of hundreds of desecrated corpses who were never laid to rest.
It was a super jaded ghost.
It was just like, fuck you people.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one more story with it. So after he dumped all this money into, because it was built in the 20s as like the town's first hospital. And so he's like, oh, I'm going to redo all the molding and make it all really cool. So he dumped all this money into redoing it. And then they're digging out for plumbing in the basement, and they find bones.
Oh, damn.
Which means it's either like a tribal burial ground, in which case they're fucked.
Yeah.
or it's like there were a couple bodies that weren't recovered. So if that's the case,
there's really no good bones in the basement. There's no good.
Yeah, it's not a positive.
It's never good. That's like your childhood is like a horror movie exposition.
Yeah. Well, I think I was like in high school at this point.
Yeah.
But so my dad calls this woman who worked for him waiting tables, who was a nurse. Her name was Twilight. So he called Twilight in the middle of the night to come and look. And Twilight saw the bones, and she was like, bovine, they're cow bones.
Yeah.
And that was it. They never fucking told anybody.
Twilight eyeballed that. She was like, well, I guess if one of the bones had fucking horns coming out of it, you'd be like, yeah, that's a cow, you idiot.
Wow.
But that's Tori, I have to tell you, that is the spookiest like triple story I've ever heard in my you're like yeah, the building was fucked up, and every time we go back in history it's even more fucked up. Like,
and if you look underneath the cow bones, there's slave bones. Yeah,
that's fucking crazy. I mean, that's cool. It's fun that you got to grow up there.
Yeah.
God damn. No, I believe in all that stuff. I would be too superstitious to ever spend any time in there.
You believe in ghosts and afterlife and everything?
100%.
Have you had what?
I feel like Nick believes in ghosts and spirits in like an academic, like
I don't know if it's academic.
like philosophical way, and Noah has it in more like of a visceral, instinctual Southern superstition,
like a voodoo.
Yeah, Noah's got like pendulums freak him out and shit, but he doesn't really know why. You know, where I feel like Nick's thought about it.
Well, I mean, I do kind of just have like a
did
gut
you grow
reaction.
up in a superstitious family?
No, but I did grow up with like weird, like I would have like weird episodes of like sleep paralysis, and also I experienced I just saw a lot of weird stuff when I was a kid.
I believe in ghosts.
Yeah, of course they're real.
Yeah. But I don't know.
It's the
Jews got to go somewhere when we die.
Oh, okay.
Jews, yeah. Well, you guys all go to heaven, right? Or no, you go to Gehenna if you're bad.
Heaven doesn't seem like a very Jewish place. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think heaven and hell are mostly a Christian idea.
But there is Gehenna. There is where your sin is burned off your body in the Jewish faith.
That's like the New Year, like Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. You're supposed to like cleanse your. I don't fucking know.
No, Gehenna is a spiritual place.
Yeah.
Well, what's the purgatory type spot
for Jews?
Yeah,
Jews don't really talk about that. That's why I think that ghosts are just Jews. They're just dead Jews.
That's why they're clinking coins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but no, I do.
Fucking with the thermostat because they're always cold.
Yeah. I believe in ghosts like crazy. I'm very scared of them. We had to sage my apartment when I first moved in because we were having some weird stuff go on.
Nick's also dating a witch, so that's part of it.
we celebrated.
Way to brag that you have a hot young girlfriend.
Yeah. My girlfriend. Well, that is true. My girlfriend is from Taiwan, and we celebrated Lunar New Year. And Ben was like, "She's Wiccan. She's not of this world." It's like she's Asian. It's probably the most
an Eastern witch.
We've got voodoo symbols on all of our doors.
I hope Twyla's
we moved in and somebody had drawn voodoo symbols on our doors outside.
Really?
Yeah, but apparently they're good ones, so we left them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there's ashy voodoo symbols all over the place.
That is a good point, though, that Tori brings up. I feel like you get away with being Wiccan when you're like a young, like pretty girl, but you can't be a literal hag and also
if you're over 40 and you're doing witch shit, you're trying to scam people out of money.
Yeah,
dude, Portland's full of.
You can't have bad skin and be a witch.
I had a friend that kept going to the same Wiccan lady who was like showing them, reading their tarot and like telling them their future and stuff. And every time I would go with them to go talk to this lady, she would be talking about like, oh, you need to come a lot more. You need to do more stuff. You need to give me more money. Like that
it's kind of a
it's a scam. Yeah.
I don't know. See, this is I'm agnostic on it because I'm like I think it's a scam. Well, it's a scam, but they are psychic. You know what I mean? They're using their true psychic abilities to scam.
I think there are real psychics out there, but I don't think a lot of them are the ones peddling themselves as psychics. I had a friend in high school who was genuinely like that. I felt like kind of connected to some weird shit.
Did you guys ever read about like the? I mean, they just declassified a bunch of documents about like remote viewing. Like the CIA would have these like remote
MK Ultra.
Yeah, well, I guess it was part of MK Ultra, but like they like. And they actually found a bunch of kids who were like very adept at like remote viewing, where like they could get these kids to like psychically like see inside of like rooms that were closed off and project their consciousness to other places, and they would get very like accurate reports back. The CIA did this in like the 60s. I want to say
the real movie would have been the kids who stare at goats.
Yeah, the kids. For me, it was the kid who stares at Goatsy. Yeah, that was my adolescence.
This is like I know I'm sure this is wrong, but this is just one of those beliefs that I feel deep down. You know, when you see kids who's like, it might be like a fetal alcohol syndrome thing, but their eyes just kind of quiver, like their eyeballs never sit still. I always feel like they know magic. Like I feel like that's like a sign. Like those are the kids. It's like they can never really focus on anything, but they can focus on everything. I
knew a kid who could make himself do that, and I would demand he do it every time I saw him.
That's an aberration.
I had a friend in elementary school that used to flip his eyelids inside out. That was a crazy one.
He's dead now.
Yeah.
I feel like all of Noah's story, every time Noah brings up a kid from childhood, I always feel like it ends with, he's dead now. He got shot on Highway 54 by state troopers.
But you don't believe in any of that stuff, I take it. You don't believe in like religion or like ghosts or anything?
No. Well, like on paper, I don't. In the moment.
You could be frightened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, on paper, I don't. But the older I get, I don't know. The more wishy-washy.
I feel like in any like weird supernatural event, I just think like, what would a black lady do in this situation? I think that'll keep you safe from the devil. Like even just in the moment, if something feels off, just pretend you're a black woman and then just be like, you know?
You instinctually rebuke.
You have to say when they would say and you'll always be safe.
I rebuke that in the name of Jesus.
And you have to pray. You have to pray really like gruesome prayers. You have to be like, the blood of Jesus. It's got to be, you know? Wash over me with the blood of Jesus, you know? That's the key.
Those are the best people in the world.
Why is it cute? Why is it? It's like, do you ever? I don't know. Sometimes I was watching a video and it was like a shooting or something, and then there's this black lady in the video, and she starts talking about the blood of Jesus, and I'm like, why is it cute when a black lady talks about the blood of Jesus? But any other race, it's creepy. You know?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm trying to think of other races who might talk. I don't know if I mean. Now, what about a Korean woman? If she begins invoking the blood of Christ,
it's like a really small Korean woman.
Yeah,
I don't know, in like a sunflower dress.
Actually, you know what? If
I think that'd be if she was wearing little cat ears or something. And
that
holding
would be
a pillow.
Like she's about to turn into a monster. She's about to or she's going to start piloting a giant robot.
Like maybe cute's the wrong word, but I feel like any other race, when they talk about the blood of Jesus, you feel less safe. Black lady talks about the blood of Jesus, I feel more safe. I'm like, someone's looking out for us.
True, right? Because they invoke the blood of Jesus in like a loving way. If it's like if you got like a I don't know, like a Baptist like TV pastor talking about the blood of Jesus, it's aggressive.
It's creepy when white people get too into like Jesus.
You know what though? I will say, like European Irish, like the way they talk about like Christ's blood, it's like, they got reverence. Like you can go touch it. Like, there's that one cathedral in Belgium where they have like a vial of Christ's blood or something. It's like,
and they got Mary Magdalene's skull, and there's one of her fingertips somewhere.
Have you? That skull is crazy. You're like, this feels sacrilegious. This feels like
it's not like, it doesn't feel religious. It's like, fucking get rid of this thing. This
is it really just a skull that's out?
It's a skull. It's just a black, like 2,000-year-old skull that they have in a glass dome.
Wasn't she the whore?
That was the world's first fleshlight.
Yeah, I think so. Well, and then another. When they had the rest of her body at some point, I don't know how the head became separate. I don't know what happened, but
that was the first fleshlight. That was the prehistoric.
The whore head.
Yo, I skull fucked Mary Magdalene.
Do you imagine how if Jesus comes back, he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? I loved her.
Yeah,
but when they were moving her body, they'd have let people come up and kiss her hand, kiss the dead body's hand or whatever. And apparently a priest from like a rival church in some other place came up, kissed her hand, and bit her finger off.
and came in his pants and ran away.
No, he kept it in his mouth and then
That's the
brought it back
censored
home.
version.
And now they've got the finger.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So everybody was fighting over this. Like, we're gonna have a piece of
Of this horror.
That's like
Yeah.
that's like the ancient version of catching a baseball at an MLB game.
Yeah.
You give it to a little kid. You're like, here, you take it.
So
You never got a finger before.
she's like in like the non-canonical books or whatever. They like date it, right?
Yeah.
In the fanfic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone should write Bible fanfic.
I'm sure it's.
There
Just like a
is.
YA version of the Bible.
but you're right. Like full, like
And
yeah,
Jesus is like the pale new kid.
yeah. He's got
Yeah.
sick powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like an explicit relationship. I think in some of the I don't know what books those are in. If there's because I know like so there's like books like
The Book of Enoch.
Yeah, but I don't know if she's in the Book of Enoch.
That's the cool like YouTube wormhole that I like to go down is the Book of Enoch. And then you get into like there are giant red-headed giants living in caves.
Nephilim, yeah.
Yeah, Nephilim.
Yeah.
I know all about
Yeah.
Nephilim.
See.
There's the Book of Solomon is that other one.
And
where
the
it's-
books of Thomas as well are like those
Okay.
cover Jesus
and books of Lilith.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's where in which of those I don't know if it's actually in the Bible, but they talk about like the Mother of Heaven who's not Mary Magdalene but Mary like Christ's mother. And there's this whole thing where like but the Mother of Heaven is not actually like the Mother of Heaven. It's she's and we don't need to get into this. It relates to hell. Like the Mother of Heaven is like a false like
Oh, okay.
This whole podcast is like why you don't get a liberal arts degree.
yeah.
But if they had just picked different books for the Bible, it would have been a way cooler.
Yeah.
Well, those books were deliberately omitted because they were like they contradicted like what the Catholic Church wanted the view of like.
It was too cool.
Well, a lot of them were also written after the fact and like aren't
Right.
considered canon because it's like a lot of them were written like 1,000 years after the rest of the Bible was written.
Oh, you know, I did know that.
Yeah, so a lot of them is just like it is that
plot
it is
armor.
fanfic. Yeah, a lot of it is that kind of.
Yeah, dude.
But
Kinda shit.
but you're a godless atheist, so what the hell do you care?
Yeah, okay.
I
I like it all. I like the mythology though.
It's
Yeah,
cool
dude.
for sure.
I kind of, dude, being a pagan would be kind of sick.
Yeah.
Start praying to like Poseidon in 2025.
Yeah. Do pagans pray to Poseidon? I guess they would, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
They pray to whoever.
Yeah. Well, it's like it depends what kind of pagan. You couldn't be a Norse pagan now without being assumed a Nazi.
Right.
They kind of ruined that.
True.
Yeah, if only, dude. If only
only.
they could have kept that
dude.
for you.
I just want to get rune tattoos.
Yeah.
That's such a dog whistle for just like, yeah.
I remember I had like read, so I don't know if it was true or not, but like there was this rumor because like there's all, I don't know if any of this is true, but you read about like the Nazis, they were searching for like they were searching for like the spear that killed
Like I don't know if
Christ.
any of this is true, but apparently they killed like 6 million people.
No, no.
I don't know. It seems a little bit fucking fishy to me.
Yeah. But no, like allegedly, like they were. It was the
Allegedly,
spear
6
of
million.
destiny, right? Like they were looking for the spear that pierced Christ's side because Hitler thought that it would like lead him to victory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Nazis were into a bunch of like pagan occult stuff. And I remember reading something like some SS officers like just under their like uniforms, their bodies were like covered in like tattoos of like runes. I have no idea if that's
Fuck,
true.
kind of sick, dude.
Yeah, it's
That
super
was like,
cool.
dude, if that like, that's the one like
I could fix him.
No.
You know.
I just mean it's super cool in the sense of like, this should. If there's a Nazi movie, why isn't
I am
why isn't that in Indiana Jones?
Yeah, it's
What, the
sort
tatted
of
up
is.
Nazis?
It is.
Yeah, they kind of did that. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull kind of had some of that shit, and also the fact that they were just looking for the lost ark.
Ark of the Covenant
Yeah.
and the chalice, the
Yeah.
Speaking of evil people with cool tattoos, you know what tattoos I'm kind of jealous of is Robert De Niro and Cape Fear.
Oh yeah, they're cool.
Those are cool tattoos.
I haven't
dude.
seen that movie.
You got like those like weird, like I don't know, they look racist, but they might, I don't know, the things on his stomach.
Yeah, and he's
Like-
got-
Or the tattoo Shia LaBeouf got before he shot dogs.
What was that?
I don't know, but he just got
Full-
his back
full
blasted.
back tattoo.
R.I.P. Fido, like 2004 to in about a
Just a
minute.
Labrador Retriever with an X through it
Yeah.
on his back.
Yeah,
it would
Just
be
a bunch
funny
of
to
dog
go around
parks.
just shooting like nice white dogs.
yeah.
You shoot exclusively golden retrievers.
I gotta get in character. I'm gonna go blast a Chihuahua with a 12 gauge.
Shooting, like fucking like Yorkies and Bichon.
It turns into a courtroom drama where he's like, if this had been a Bichon Frise, cops would have been out there day of.
Well, what I did to get ready for Fury is I hit a poodle in the face with a hammer until it stopped.
Yeah. You're by the specificity of your example gives away your fucking algorithm problems.
Yeah, dude.
Poodle with a hammer is some shit you've
if I
seen
was gonna
before.
do it, I think that what I did.
You had a breed and a specific weapon, dude.
God, dude. I don't do any of that.
Fucking
I don't condone any of that.
dox him with a chainsaw.
I had a question for Tory because I have so many questions for Tory because I saw you do comedy for the first time at that comic book store show.
Yeah, the basement.
You were great, by the way. That was such a funny set. But it was funny because like you turned back to me before you went up and you're like, I didn't know this was a woke show. And then you went up and like had the best set of the night by far. Like
I did all the Portlands. I was like, I know this.
Yeah.
I know this exact crowd.
yeah,
You can feel the white guilt in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Palpable.
you crushed though.
Smells like dead jellyfish. Yeah, dude. I need to get out there, see some of these shows. Have you done anything at Zany's?
And just the roast.
How are the roasts out here?
They're fun. They're good. It seems like a lot of newer comics doing it.
You were saying that.
Yeah.
That seems to be how you like a lot of comics like just do roasts
Get
to like
into
break
it.
in.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I have mixed feeling about roasts, but
What are your feelings about roast?
my feelings about roasts is that a lot of comics do well in roasts, but like they're doing well in a roast doesn't really prepare you to like do well doing like regular stand up. And a lot of the stuff you learn in roasts just like leads to like bad habits in stand up. And
Start
it doesn't-
roasting like audience members and shit.
Well, it just doesn't like translate to like being good at like what you would hope to be doing, which is like an hour of material.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you want to be Jeff Ross, you know.
I saw Jeff Ross get into an Uber in Wicker Park, and I was like, "Oh man!" Somehow he looks better on camera. Like,
Really?
the camera, I was like, he looks dead. He looks like they found him like in water.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sorry, I don't know if I'm.
No, he just got. I think he just got over like cancer. I shouldn't say that.
yeah.
I feel like that's a rude
did
thing
he?
to say if someone's just casually like, haha, that guy looks like shit. To be like,
He's too-
they had cancer.
Did he
He's
have
got-
cancer? Well,
Yeah.
he has
does?
cancer.
He's dying.
He's dying of
No.
cancer.
Oh, so
Jeff Ross?
yeah, you were right. Good clock,
At
dude.
least, look, he won't be
keen eye.
He won't be around long enough to get mad at me, so I think I'm home safe. Oh, no. Well, I mean, I would feel sadder if I ever thought anything he said was funny at all. But
Yeah, so at least he's gonna be a dead hack.
No.
At least he's gonna be a hack who died, and then it's not that bad.
I don't like roast battle that much. Although I will say I don't think it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why. Like, because Zach and I talk about this. Like,
It's like coming in 2020, 2030, bumping urns.
well, because like the idea of the Friars roast was like it was people who were like friends with each other roasting each other, and that's why it's funny. And now roasting is like here's somebody you've never met. You have to do research on them and then like humiliate them on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
Find out how they got molested, where, and by who.
I don't
make
like
fun of them.
people practicing their roast jokes at mics and shit.
What are you getting out of it? That's the other thing that kills me. Is like,
It's just literally a room with like 8 dudes and then some guys like, yeah, so this girl's a dumb bitch. It's hard not to feel like this is probably...
I know, because that's like happened at my mic where people like to come and
And I give
practice
feedback.
their
I'm like,
roast
you should
jokes.
call her a cunt.
Yeah. They like to practice it. And it just happens that all of them are doing jokes about the same... They all end up
Yeah.
roasting the same comic.
Yeah.
So there's just like a secret room
Yeah.
where these dudes come to and like just say anti-Semitic shit
Yeah.
about one
Just
person.
to slut shame an assigned female comic.
It's crazy.
So,
I think they're fun. I gotta say faggot on one of them.
so you like roast battle, right? Yeah.
You're never gonna say faggot. I gotta say faggot. Everybody cheered. And then
you
a
always
panel
say
of comics all congratulated me on saying it.
That's true.
Hell
I
yeah.
don't know if that's what they were congratulating, but
I won. I'm gonna say faggot all the time. I say faggot and people give me stuff. That's crazy.
yeah.
I'm gonna say it at the bank.
I wish that's how it worked. I wish you could just call somebody a faggot and they throw roses at your feet.
Yeah.
I robbed a bank with the faggot. I just said the word. They were like, here, just
Take the money.
Tory's running out of a bank with 2 big bags with money signs on them and a T-shirt that says "faggot" on it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Sorry to shit all over this thing that you enjoy doing.
I like them fine.
I used to like. I feel like I was kind of in the roast game with you back in Portland for a while. Like we were both doing a lot of roasts. Noah too.
Yeah, and I like them. It's just like it's so much work to do leading up, and then you just like burn all that material. It's just tough to.
And it's either people write jokes for you, and you're either like, "Fucking that was your joke," or you're like, "I'm never gonna forget you said that."
I've never gotten my feelings hurt in an actual roast. I've had. I mean, you say fucking the meanest shit in the world to me that I think about later all the time. Yeah, all the time.
Like during roast or just in general?
No, just in person
like
in our day to day.
What? I feel like I gassed you up.
Well, I mean, yeah, you do, but you also just offhand.
Like such a toxic friendship.
Offhand, I remember one time I was wearing wireless headphones, and I was walking home from work, and I was walking down the street to the Roselawn house, and you were on the porch. I was a block away, and you stood up and you pointed at me, and you go, "Ha, retard!"
And he was wearing like big like.
They were Beats headphones.
Ben's like, in my defense, if you saw him,
They were Beats headphones.
They looked like headphones you give kids to go to the mall when they're like stimming.
Dude,
I've been called autistic in those headphones before.
Yeah.
There was one time we were both sitting at a table, and I was like glad to see you, and we both sat down. I guess my mouth was dry or something, and you go, "Dude, your breath smells awful." You just said that shit to me,
I used to do.
So out of
I remember them. I remember those things all the time.
Ben, I used to do this exact thing to
I'm
people
sorry,
too.
dude.
I don't feel bad. Just grow out of it, please. Just make sure you grow out of it.
Change.
I feel like I've said so many nice things, but you just remember the negative ones.
That's how it works, dude. I mean, I remember some of the shit I've said to you one time. I not one time, a bunch of times.
What?
I remember. Well, you went through a bandana phase, and I remember I told you it reminded me of a certain comic, and I remember how sad you got and you took it off. What?
The Amazing Jonathan?
No.
I'm trying to remember what comic.
It's a comic.
We can
Yeah.
bleep it out or whatever. It was Dennis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I said it's got Dennis vibes.
What I do when that, because you were right, and then what I'll do though is I'll be like, I'll go get somebody else's opinion, and then they'll be like, they're not as good friends with me as Noah, so then they'll be like, no, like I like it, looks fine, and I'll be like, see, and then make Noah feel like shit for saying that the bandana wasn't cool, but then I'll take it off and never wear it again.
Yeah, but you also do a thing where like you jab, you like teasing and making jabs and all that stuff. And if we're in a social situation and I'm the first one to do it, you just freeze, and then everybody else looks at me like an asshole. and I'm like, dude, you don't get to see the other way I live my life.
I have to start it, okay? It's like jumping rope. Like I have to like,
dude, you're like an abused girlfriend where it's like they have no idea what you're putting up with at home.
I just need it on the record that I'm not insane and I'm not just abusing my friend. It's a tit for tat. I like that it's part of what we do.
Yeah.
But there are times I'm not abused. We're both swinging, dude. We're not. I'm not cowering. We throw it back.
But
I get gaslit in public sometimes.
I play the
I gotta make
traumatized
sure.
housewife.
You do got to be careful with that, because I would do that a lot. I would jab everybody. I mean, I would walk into a room and just,
I used to be worse with it. Right now, like I don't think I'm really like that anymore.
No, you seem better, but like you got it, because like I still have the instincts. Like I'll walk in, I'll be talking to somebody, and I'll have to filter out 10 mean things that I want to say to them. That I think that like when I was 22, I would just like I would think I was being so funny, telling people like. Dude, I remember one time I upset this guy in Baltimore so bad, Mike Quinlan, who was very nice. He was always so nice to me. He told me I was so funny. He was like, at this point, he was like 45.
And you were like, perfect.
Yeah, well, he posted a picture of himself on Facebook from when he like went to China in his 20s. I think I said something like, Mike, I saw that picture of you, dude. You used to be really handsome. And he was just like, all right, thanks, Nick. What the fuck is wrong with you? But
no, I remember it got at its worst for me is I stopped even really trying to be funny, and I was just saying mean shit to people like at open mics. I remember, I won't say this comic's name, but I was just one guy. I remember I was like, your head is like a weird shape. I was just breaking down why I was just like, it's like,
just
it's not
a bald guy.
Yeah. I was like, it's not that you're bald. It's that your head is shaped weird.
There's no solution to this problem.
Yeah. Like, what am I doing? Like,
that's like one of the hardest parts of making new friends when you move is that you can't be mean for a while.
So hard.
That's
it's
why
so
Dylan,
hard.
Yeah, dude. That's why Dylan Carlino, who's a very, very funny comic who's in Austin now, was so great when I started comedy is because immediately he was super mean to me and I could be super mean back. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a reverse high school. It's like you're getting bullied by someone gay and bigger than you.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of it's the comeuppance.
Do you have the impulse to be mean to people, Tori? Like,
oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, it's something.
One time, Tori told me my eyes were set too wide apart, and I've never forgotten.
They
it.
are.
I was about to. I was like, I concur.
They are kind of wide.
I know.
Yeah.
I have wide downsy eyes.
I can see I can see three. Okay, if you just look
They're
straight
bulgy.
ahead,
My eyes are bulgy.
I can see 75% of your eye.
I know.
From your profile.
I know it's bulgy.
You got prey eyes.
I know. I wish I had a chiseled warrior face.
No, you got good eyes.
I got these
man.
doe
right?
eyes.
You got good eyes.
Well, now I gotta walk it back. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
You got good eyes.
Yeah, the thing that 3 people independently observed was actually a lie. We were confused. We were kidding.
No, it's fine.
Also, I'm not the first person to tell because you said I'm self-conscious of my downsy face, and then I said, "Yeah, your eyes are kind of far apart."
Right.
No, but I think I was doing that thing.
That's great because people say that. This is why I have the same thing. Somebody says that looking for reassurance, and you're like, "Oh, that's a green light."
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
all been thinking that.
Yeah,
dude.
because I'm hoping you go, no, you don't have a downsy face. No.
It's like, oh, you know, yeah, you know.
You can't compliment fish with the autistic.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
So what you do is that you take it and you don't spiral, but you integrate the information. So what I take from it, I have downsy angles, you know? I could lie my way, you know?
You could like, you start positioning your head in a way that doesn't like.
It just means some pictures of me are really, I look like a retarded guy.
Yeah. Okay.
And Noah's great at finding them
yeah,
and photoshopping them into shit. But yeah.
The one where your eyes are going a different way.
Yeah.
The impulse to be mean is intoxicating. I've worked so hard to like kill that because you're right, you can't do it when you move to a new place.
Nick says this all the time, and I always think like, what are all the mean things that you think about me that you don't say?
I'm so good now that like when they come, I don't say them and then they just like pass. But and I because it used, I don't know. I would love for you to have met me like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Because we probably would be adversaries.
You think so?
Oh yeah. My energy at that time and your energy now, we would have been like oil and water.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I feel like I could be hard to talk to or whatever, but I'm persistent. I would have kept trying to be your friend because the thing is, I don't like.
So here's what would have happened. I would have. Because I had relationships, you know, you should really talk to Chris Hudson about this. But I had relationships like that with people where like I would be mean to them every time I saw them, and they wanted to be my friend, and then like we would be in proximity to each other so often that I would think of them as a friend, but still just like treat them like shit, and just be mean to them, you know, like a toady.
Yeah.
Okay. I have the opposite problem where I assume everyone hates me and I find out we're friends later. That's my.
Oh yeah.
Well, Noah would always do that. We'd get back from something and he'd be like, "Yeah, this guy fucking like hates me." And I'm like, I know for a fact that person loves you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
There's a line at the end of this is corny, but whatever. So there's this line at the end of A Brilliant Mind that like has stuck with me. That's like where it like, because the whole movie he has this adversary, and then at the very end, because he's like, it's the economist that has like schizophrenic or whatever.
Okay,
economist. So it's Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe's all old, and then
A beautiful mind. Sorry.
he sees he sees his adversary and they're winning Nobel Prizes or whatever. They're both old. And he's like, I feel like I can finally call you my friend. And his like from his mind, his adversary is like, we've always been friends. What are you talking about? We're friends this whole time.
He's just thinking about math so much.
I was just fighting schizophrenic battles with my friends all the time.
But no, it's just bugged because it's like in his mind, and it's like, no, the guy liked you. He was your buddy. He was here.
Yeah, sometimes you just if you live in your own head too much, you get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
I feel like what I got from when you say that though, Nick, is that when you were just yourself, before you had a filter, you hate me. But now now you've learned to like, I think that, like, when you say, I feel like inside Nick fucking does not like me.
No, don't do this.
You're really taking this.
No, I wouldn't. No, I'm
projecting.
It's not that I don't like you, because I actually think I always liked most people, but like I would have this. It's also because of how I was raised, which is like everybody in my family is not funny, and also they make fun of you mercilessly, but it's not even like artful. So it's just like, and they all think they're hilarious, but it's literally just like,
yeah,
you're fat, you look stupid.
Yeah.
So no, I just see there are things in you.
No, I don't think you hate me.
I don't hate you. There are things in you that I would make fun of in a way, tactlessly 7 years ago that I wouldn't do now, because it's not worth. It's just not. It's not good to do that.
I think I used to be. I don't know. I feel like I was more rough around the edges. Definitely there for a while though too. I feel like I kind of have become like I've settled into the nerdy things that I do. Like, I've accepted certain things about myself that I don't think I had fully accepted in my like earlier 20s. Yeah. So I had more of a chip on my shoulder.
Some would say you've leaned in.
I've leaned in. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also I think like when you're younger, it feels more like you have shit to prove, and like interactions feel more like conflict, even when they're friendly. Maybe it's just me, but like it feels more like you're still stacking up against other people pretty frequently.
Yeah, 'cause I
it's
just
always
want
like
to fight
better
people
than
all the
worse
time.
than.
I remember.
Yeah.
That's.
Oh, yeah. That my problem was I do not fight. Scared of fighting. The amount of people who wanted to fight me.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? That must be the nice thing about being a mean girl, is like nobody's gonna swing at you.
Maybe, that's what I want. If I ever got to be like a famous comic, I would be an asshole. Well, because you just can't.
You can.
Yeah.
It'd be so fun. You don't filter any. In fact, the fact that you don't filter is what people love about you.
Yeah.
You just lean into all of your worst impulses. I would be just the worst. I would love it.
You go full Tom Segura, start calling him the pores.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I'm a white lady, somebody hits me, then I'm just a victim. Like, it's just the best.
Oh
There's
my God.
it's a beautiful dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, that is like, you did kind of win the lottery. If you're like a white lady with mean inclinations and you're famous, it's like, that's who's better than you.
Yeah, you can't touch me.
You literally can't. That's like, damn.
Yeah.
That's incredible. But you're not. You don't seem mean. Every time I've like spoken to you, you're like very warm. Like even if you have mean thoughts, you don't seem like you're like a malicious person.
No, but Tory is an interest. I feel like that's one of the reasons why you're such a.
Okay.
Because you're it's very much a specific to stand-up personality type, and it's a super like anxious, like low self-esteem, but also just will fling out things that will cut you so fucking deep. So it's somebody like spiraling downwards. As they're spiraling downwards, they're shooting out like lasers that, like, it's this weird. You don't get that anywhere else besides like a stand-up comic,
right? Where
they're begging you for reassurance, but then
it's like an emotional
telling you your head is misshapen.
You do that. I do that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go take a nap in my car.
Makes me feel a little better.
I want you to think about what I said.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's not a good personality trait. I do that,
That's like you're like an emotional like kamikaze.
Yeah.
It's just like,
So I'm only.
It's like when you're trying to save a wild animal from a trap and it's biting you.
Yeah.
That's a good metaphor too.
I'm only mean to people. That's the other thing. I really want people to like me. So if I'm worried people don't like me, I'm really nice to them. And then once I'm like, oh, we're friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
then
Okay, so see, I understand this because I was always like, when I would be mean to people, it was because like you're part of my life, and I feel like I can do this to you.
Yeah.
So like, because I'm very comfortable with like going. The problem is, and I don't know if you'll relate to this, the one-upmanship of being mean, you'll take it to like an insane place where like within the course of 10 minutes we've said things that can never be you know what I mean?
What I think happens with it too is like you're saying mean things in like conversations, especially with like other comics, and you're expecting kind of a reaction after you say something mean, and then where it gets weird, and this is where I always fuck it up, is at some point you say something and then there's no reaction to it, and then it's like it makes it seem like what you said, you're being serious now. And that's where I always get fucked up. This happens between, I feel like me and Nick a lot too, where like we're going, and then I say something, and it's just because my riff wasn't funny, but it makes it seem like I'm trying to make a poignant point in the middle of our thing.
In the middle of us goofing.
And then Nick will be like, "Are you okay?"
I had somebody one time say to me like they brought up a list of things that I said to them that they'd been like stewing on. They made them really mad.
Really?
And I was like, dude, I was joking. I didn't mean it. Like, he was like, I thought you were. Or what did he say?
You're like, it even reads funny. Dude. It works on paper.
I said, why would you think I really meant that stuff? And he said, because you said it to me. And I was like, yeah. I could see how that would.
Yeah.
So anyway, listen, we're all good guys here. None of us are fucking, But yeah, no,
I think we would have been friends even in our early 20s. It might have been awkward at first, but I think we would have bonded over something like, I don't know, like racism, misogyny, something like that. Those are the things that bring young men together. Yeah. Like at the end of the day.
I was actually woke in my early 20s. So I was I was comic because I was like mean, but I was woke.
Oh,
so, like,
I wouldn't have liked you.
Oh, you're the worst.
I was.
You were the worst. Stephen Hofstetter. Dude.
Well, it's because I was like woke for like social currency. I was like woke for pussy. I was woke for pussy, all this stuff, but then like everything underneath would like come out in like very personal jabs. And I was like, look, I'm not saying anything about black people as a whole. I'm saying something about this black guy at this open mic. Yeah. So it's not.
I'm saying that he's not using headphones on the train.
Also, can I say about black people ruining their speakers on their phone? I realized the other day that this is most certainly a byproduct of the death of the boombox. You know what I mean? Like that. Like if you made Do the Right Thing today, it would be speakerphone Raheem, not instead of radio Raheem.
It's a guy Facebook living. Dude, that's the worst. They always try and get. One time I was in the green room at Helium, and there's a black comic in the green room with me, and he's Facebook living. And he's putting me on his Facebook Live. I don't know him, and I'm about to go on stage.
Yeah.
And he just points the camera at me.
We out here. It's like, no, you're literally inside.
I wish I could go back and just say it on the live.
But I'm like, if they bring the boombox back, I'm automatically less mad at like music on the train because it's like, oh, it sounds good.
Yeah.
You're ruining your Android phone. You're ruining your HTC Vibe or whatever the fuck.
I would say
drill rap blown out.
It's the speakerphone's annoying, but also the human shits are annoying on the train too. I think we could take back the shit, keep the speakerphones. Compromise.
I'm not attributing that to any. I think all people do that. I'm not going to say that any one race
like
does that.
It sounded like that was a race-specific thing. Black people are always just shitting on the train.
Maybe it's a small sample size. I got to go out there and do the science, I guess.
Well, I don't think so. Yeah. Whatever Ben said, I don't
start
think
putting tracking chips in the shits. That doesn't work.
Yeah, nobody's going and taking it back. You know what? That was a good one. I think I want to carry that home with me, and then look into the camera inside of my shit so I can know what race I am.
It'd be so funny to take a shit on the train and be like, I'm gonna take this home and put it in the toilet. You can't be mad, all right?
You're poking through it. You're like, that's Popeyes.
Yeah, there we go. I was about to go there, and then I was like, that's too racist, and then you just did it.
Yeah. I have somewhat of a brand going on this podcast.
I keep trying to make it not. I am trying so hard to steer this away from like.
I know. Early on, he said black women, and then you were like, "They're the best." They are.
Well,
no, that was sincere.
No,
that was sincere.
That's the thing is that you realize if you give me enough time, you realize the point I'm making is that they are the best.
Yes, yeah.
You just have to let me. Sometimes it's like
Tory. Cool your all right, I will kick you off this podcast in the last 10 minutes. I was not groveling before black women. I would never do that. I genuinely like woke, religious dude. Black ladies. No, this is a sincere belief.
No, you're mean woke.
I promise you. This is a sincere belief. They have the best church. Do you know how badly I want to go to black church?
Yeah.
You understand how much I'm not allowed to go to black church?
I used to go to one.
You are you kidding?
Well, it was mixed, but it was mixed because I didn't know that my dad's girlfriend was black because she was half, and I didn't know.
You didn't know.
Because I was like 7.
Yeah.
But we went. So and she had a son that was like blonde hair, blue eyed.
Oh like, yeah, that can happen.
So but it was like a fall down on the ground.
Yes.
Like have seizures on the ground church.
Like 3 hours of like just like singing and moving on up like.
Yeah, and then you and then God like speaking in tongues, like that type of stuff.
So that's a little bit, that's sort of divergent from regular black church. That sounds like it's mixed with like Southern Baptist.
Yeah, but that is like a black like.
Well, it's Southern too. It's like Quaker shit.
Well, I'm saying, but white people do that shit too. It's just creepier when they do it. Like when you see a white person seizing up on the floor or whatever.
Yeah.
Pentecostal, is that what it is?
Pentecostal, yeah.
Pentecostal. Yeah. I went to a summer camp for it, and it's when you're a kid, it's awesome.
But when I say black church, I'm thinking of like ladies with like purple hats on. And
my dad used to preach at those in Oakland. Yeah,
really?
Yeah,
so awesome.
He would. He'd go hard. He'd start sweating and stuff. And yeah,
if God is in your heart.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of church you want to go, where like every woman in the choir is like Whitney Houston level talented, but it's just for.
And
church.
the crowd is just full of fans, like everybody's just going like this with the fans.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're in the.
You ever listen to Kirk Franklin?
No.
I want to say he's from Chicago. Kirk Franklin is this like gospel. I think he's also a pastor, but he's like he would release like albums of him doing like contemporary like gospel music.
Okay.
And he's on a Frank the Rapper. What am I trying to say? What's his name? No, Chance the Rapper. Oh my God, I'm the whitest guy who's ever been alive. He's on a Chance the Rapper track, and but yeah, dude, I'll watch Kirk Franklin and I'll just be like, God, I should have been black. So
I listen to like
these people,
like black gospel music or whatever, and it's the same. It's like they make everything cool, whatever they do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna
even being Jewish, like the Black Israelites, dude. They fucking instantly made it cool. We've been smarmy, whiny cunts for thousands of years, and then black guys start doing it and immediately start fucking spitting game.
That's so awesome that black guys just showed up, just like pushed. They're like,
they're like, this is how
are not
you do
Jewish.
This. Yeah,
we are the Jews. Yeah,
you
dude,
gotta start putting bitches in their place publicly.
Yeah, that is. Jews do wish they were black more than anybody.
Yeah, that's why we give them terrible contracts.
Because the way the Jews love basketball, it's like
Kanye. We've been playing the long game. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what kind of doctors.
I'm mad that Tory accused me of like being like woke.
I wasn't trying. I was just throwing it out. I was just.
No, that's what he is. Yeah.
It's okay. I obviously hit a soft spot for you, and it's a sensitivity.
Well, so you're racist, I guess, right? So tell me about your perspective.
Oh, so you're a bigot and a fucking transphobe. That's crazy.
Listen, Tory has fucked so many black guys.
Is that true?
I'm just some. I don't know. I'm old.
I'm realizing that I have no proof that it's more than one, but in my head it is a bunch.
Let me tell you.
It's like 4.
Okay.
I see it.
At once, it wasn't
at once. I don't know. I was seeing double.
4 at once. That's incredible. Well, so you don't really have much room to talk, do you? when you wokely got gangbanged by 4 black guys, like, this is great. These are the best guys I've ever met in my life.
I was like, I love black women. That's what I was saying the whole time.
No
If
room
you're
to talk
listening and don't
because-
have access to the video, Nick's got a pussy hat on and Tori's wearing a Klan hood, and they're shooting daggers at each other right now. This has been an uncomfortable podcast.
And
Having sex with a black guy, like actually, I like it. This is better.
And Zach's not on camera, but he is in blackface as usual. Deep in character.
It's like me lying about liking Indian food. I'm like, no, it's once you've had it, it's really good. You get like a different taste of a culture. It's,
Yeah, you use your hands.
it's definitely better than pizza. So
Yeah.
much better than pizza. Well, I guess that shows you. Oh my God! We'll bring this in for a close. We'll do another 10 because I know you got to get to the
I
mic.
do.
Right?
I have an open mic to get to.
Dude, so I texted Harry asking him for a spot at Red Room, and he didn't get back to me for 2 days. And I was like, well, I guess I have to cut Harry out of my life. And then he messaged me very kindly. He was like, hey, we'll put you up in June. I was like, nice. Thank
Hell
you.
yeah. Cool. I want to do that room again soon. It's a fun room. Dude.
It's fun. You should hop on when I'm on. I'm trying to get a video
Okay.
there.
I need a tape
Yeah.
fast.
That would be a good
but-
place for a tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted it before then, but it'll have to
Yeah.
do.
Fucking Harry, dude.
Harry's such a nice guy.
Blackball him. I
Dude,
love Harry.
It's so funny. Harry, I don't know
Shout out
why.
Cold Cuts.
Yeah, shout out Cold Cuts Pod, good podcast. When last time I was at Red Room, he was talking about how people assume he's people think he's gay.
Yeah.
And then he did this whole, and then he brought me up, and they do that thing at Red Light Therapy where you talk for a little bit at the beginning, and he was like, you know, Nick, like I don't seem gay to you, and I was like, I've literally been telling people you're my favorite gay comic in Chicago. I don't know where. Like I thought I heard him say he was gay, but yeah, I'm like, oh, Harry BJJ, funny gay guy. Like that.
I think it's just the Invisalign gives him a lisp.
Is that why he has a list?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
and
also
he's-
got insane posture.
and
He's got
he's-
really good posture.
Well, and he
Yeah.
says wild shit, and you're watching it, and you're like, oh, he can get away with this because he's gay. And then you
Yeah.
realize, no, he's just fucking shoots from the hip.
Yeah.
The first time I saw him, I was like, Harry BJJ, nice gay man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but now I've been trying to imagine him having heterosexual sex, and it's just tripping me out, dude.
Yeah. Fuck.
I don't know. If we need a landing topic, I got a charge
I don't
thing.
know. I
I've
have
got
like
a gun
allergies,
now.
dude. Noah's got a
Oh,
gun.
you have a
I've got a gun. You saw you
Oh,
held
yeah.
it and you pointed it at me, and so you're not allowed to touch it anymore.
You have a gun and a car now.
I have a gun in a car.
Whoa, we're gonna have so much fun.
Anything could happen, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like full American now.
This is
I've
like 8 Mile, dude.
I
Dude, let's
have
go
full
shoot
autonomy
rats in
from the
the
government
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to point it at your face. I came out of my room and I was been smoking weed like for like 3 hours, and then Noah's like, I got a gun, and I was like, cool, and I wasn't thinking, and then
Yeah, he just held it and pointed it directly at my neck, and so Ben's not allowed to touch it anymore.
Well, I think I should get a second chance.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
No.
The first time I ever shot a gun, it was like a refrigerator or something. And there was only one bullet because I didn't want to. But
Diet was going that bad.
I did shoot the gun and then pointed at everyone and go, "Did I do a good job, guys?" I didn't.
Yeah.
Dude, and
Is this thing even working?
it was crazy getting it because it's a family heirloom. It's a 22, so it's a squirrel shooting gun. I mean, you use it for like Coke bottles and like nothing. It's a nothing ass gun. It's not like a defense gun.
It's a Jim
But the
Crow
first
gun.
2 days I had it, I just had like fever dreams about just blowing my own head off. Because
Yeah.
it's there now. You got the option. It's right there.
Yeah.
I don't want to die. But like I was just thinking about like,
Invasive thoughts.
yeah. I mean, it's there forever.
Well,
you know?
you're getting up, you're like, fuck, I don't want to work. You're just like, I could just fucking kill myself.
Well, because you have those moments where
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit, my socks are wet inside of my shoes. Maybe I'll just fucking shoot
Your
my-
DoorDash it came out to $50, and then you're trying to think about how much you should tip, and then you're like, what? I could just fucking kill myself, dude.
I couldn't own a. There's no way I wouldn't do it. Not encouraging you to. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying there's. Because I'm cool.
Yeah.
If I owned a gun, there's no way I wouldn't.
Yeah, I've got
fucking
my
shoot
shit
myself in
like
the head.
locked up, put away,
Yeah, yeah.
like nobody can get to it, and
And you don't drink. I feel like that's when you're in danger.
Yeah.
Is when you're drunk and sad.
Yeah.
Like that's bad.
What about
Yeah.
high and sad?
That would probably be crazy.
Then you just suck on
I
it.
was gonna say,
You stick your tongue in the.
oh man, that's fucking crazy. I mean, it's cool that you have it. It's it's a little worrisome that you're like straight up scared of it, but
I think it's good to be afraid of it. I realized when I started thinking about shooting myself in the head, I was like, it's good that I'm going to this place because I need to go through all the feelings to not be afraid of it anymore. And that way, it's not that big of a deal.
It's just exposure therapy and just hold it up and just.
Like,
I
don't
gotta
worry,
think, guys.
this
I
is
gotta
healthy.
think my way through this. All right, this is part of my process.
Ben told me to do this because it would feel good.
It's not. I don't think it's loaded. Yeah,
we should do Russian roulette nights at the house.
We
Yeah,
should.
dude.
That'd be pretty
Patreon.
awesome.
that's. Let's get these views up, dude.
Yeah.
Plus, okay.
Let's just play hot potato.
Yeah.
Let's put one bullet and throw it across the room to each other.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Tori?
I don't remember.
No.
Well, just that it's so small that if just to do a little suicide prevention, it's so small. Just know if you do shoot yourself in there's a good chance you just end up like
Weird.
Yeah.
It would just go. It would
Phase
like go
gauge.
around your skull.
Making Lily change my diapers.
Yeah.
It just forever feed me everything through a straw. Yeah.
Start talking with like a British accent or an Indian accent. Do you ever hear about people?
Yeah, that can happen. Yeah, you suffer.
I shoot myself and I turn Mandarin.
Just let me die. Kill me. I don't want to live like this.
If
I'll never be able to say potato salad again the normal way.
Ever since Noah shot himself, he just moves his head around when he talks.
If I shot myself and got the injury that made me speak Mandarin, I'd be like, I guess it was a Chinese gun?
I thought this was American made. They fucking you guys fucked me.
I would try to turn everybody else Chinese too. I would go out and make a horrible mistake.
Like Taiwan is a part of China.
Yeah, but I just want to say for clarification on the gun, it's never going to be shot. I'm not taking it to a range. I'm not doing anything with that.
Oh,
it's
really?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, it's a 60-year-old 22 millimeter, and it's a family heirloom. So the minute I shoot it, then I gotta like register
It's
it.
strictly for
I gotta,
UPS
like,
guys.
Okay.
Out the window.
Like it's something that's gonna end up in like a shadow box, you know, like something like that.
So it's an heirloom. Whose was it? Like,
It's my grandfather's
Okay,
who died a couple years ago.
Who wasn't
What did he-
racist.
What?
right?
Yeah.
What did he use it for? Just shooting squirrels?
I mean, me and my grandfather used to go out in the woods behind his house and shoot water bottles and shit.
Oh, okay. So I see. Okay, so now
Yeah,
it makes sense.
he had real guns for self-defense. This was not that. This was like a little plink fucking.
And he would
it
take
doesn't
pictures
even
of like
kick when
Wesley
you shoot
Snipes
it.
to the water bottles, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have like allergies right now, dude.
Oh, allergies.
it's
oh,
crazy.
allergies.
I'm gonna blame that one on the allergies.
Yeah, I just sneeze out the N-word.
Yeah, sorry. My sinuses are clogged with slurs right now.
I'm allergic to this mind virus.
It's so crazy to just say the most racist shit and then apologize for something else.
Yeah, it's pollen, dude.
No, they are always late, but oh, sorry, I gotta sneeze.
That's incredible.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have allergies. Wesley Snipes. Did that get the black actor Wesley? I didn't know if it was clear.
That's
Clear my throat.
insane. You guys are fucking nuts. Well, I hope
Damn.
I do want to hold it though. When next time I'm over, let me hold it
Yeah,
down.
fucking whatever.
Oh, dude.
yeah, we'll I don't know.
That's what she said.
We'll spin it and we'll play spin the bottle with it.
Spin the revolver.
That'd be
Yeah.
the best. You like guns, Tori?
I'm scared of them.
Oh, right. That's right. You said that. Sorry.
But I've shot him a few times. Shooting him's fun. I like
So you
feeling
have shot them, yeah.
Yeah, a few times, but not. I've never gone to like I've never shot them in a safe, sober environment. I've
No.
only shot them with Hicks.
Okay.
So not even like on a range.
No, like we went camping and somebody brought a bunch of guns and everybody
I
got
like how
drunk.
Hicks being around just makes it an unsafe environment too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I went to a party. I went to a birthday party. Well, I didn't even know the guy. My friend, my best friend back in Maryland, Sean, went to I think St. Mary's College, and he was there with a guy who had just been going to St. Mary's for like 9 years. He was on like his 9th year of like getting like a liberal arts degree.
Yeah.
So he invited
So
us
gun.
out. What?
Sorry, no, I was just getting ahead of myself.
So he invited us out to his family was like having a birthday party in their little like house on the water on the Eastern Shore in Maryland, and we get there and it's just like Eastern Shore people, like they're fucking like cooking chicken over a fire out back. They drop a whole chicken into the dirt. He's like, brush it off. They brush it off and start cooking it again. And then this
5-second rule.
This like I want to say it was ayahuasca. This like cup of like ayahuasca. They have these like all these psychedelics. It tasted like it was like drinking like grass clippings. I think that was ayahuasca.
Yeah.
It might have been peyote. I don't know. I don't know if peyote's a liquid. Anyway.
Mescaline?
Isn't mescaline's like clear, I want to say. This was like dark green.
Okay, yeah, probably
like,
ayahuasca.
Nasty. So this is going around. Everybody's like stoned and drunk. And then they just like bring out like shotguns and pistols and rifles. And they're not even like they start out shooting it like at the water, which is pretty safe. And then they just start like shooting just past you, like trees past each other. Everybody's like tripping. We're all fucked up. The chicken's burning. And we were just like, we should go. Like this is insane.
It's crazy.
It's just a guy doing that thing where you flip it around and twirl, but he's not good yet, so he keeps dropping it.
I mean, there was some of that, dude. Yeah, and this guy, you know, not what you would expect from a guy who spent 9 years getting his like liberal arts degree.
Yeah,
you know, but
this is what you expect from 9 years of liberal combined.
Yeah, but I get what you mean. It was like that's like the scare, and they were all so comfortable. And it's like the scariest environment I've ever been in.
The first time I ever shot a gun was with a guy he lived in a camper just out. It was like in the Central Valley of California, and he was just a camper out in the middle of nowhere. His name was Sponge, and he had a bunch of guns, and there was just appliances, just dead appliances on the property.
Oh yeah,
and we all went shot. I remember it was like an outing. I was like, oh, we're gonna go
shoot the microwave.
We're gonna go shoot.
You ever killed a toaster oven?
Guns with Sponge.
We took guns. We took
You never forget your first.
Well, they weren't real guns, but it was like a high powered pellet gun. We took it out to Joshua Tree, me and my buddies when I lived in California, and like that shit's so it's just fun to shoot cans in the desert. No wind.
Yeah, that shit rules.
All right, well I think that's it. Next episode, we're all gonna kill each other with the gun. So tune in for
I'm gonna
that.
get a pellet gun, and I am gonna be using it.
Tory,
Zach gets the gun, and then we all make our case on why we can't get
I'm gonna get shot.
Zach's gonna start.
It's gonna be me.
Zach's gonna start syncing the audio with the gun.
Yeah,
he's gonna shoot. Just
That's our
before
clap.
Your content is bad.
We're gonna start this podcast like an F1 race every fucking week.
I'm gonna be so embarrassed if I'm the one that gets the bullet and I don't notice it.
Yeah,
it's just like washed under my titty fat. And he's like, someone got shot.
We're talking about it like 10
Did you
years
shoot me?
later.
I'm sorry. Okay, all right, I'll die. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean
like,
to.
Protected by a
Do you want
thick
me to
layer of
leave?
dandruff.
Yeah.
I'll just stand off camera. We're talking about it like 5 years later, and we're like, remember that one time? And Tori's like, yeah. And shows us like like a blue spot. You can kind of see it. Yeah.
Tori, thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Yeah.
We will definitely have you back. Thank you guys for listening. Please leave us a review on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. And we're going to put Tori's socials in the description, so follow her. She's very funny. And thanks again for doing it. Cool. Thank you guys.